shoot-around, and as a result, Phil Jackson is going with Brian Cook. Marv Albert with the czar, Mike Fratello, Steve Kerr, Craig Sager. We're ready to go for the Lakers. 5 straight wins, 8 of the last 10. They come off the point. Denver last night. Kobe Bryant playing his best basketball of the season. Phil Jackson telling us earlier he is at the level that he was a year ago, while the Kings without 3 of their key players, Chris Webber, Brad Miller, Bobby Jackson, yet they've won 7 of the last 8, 11 of 13. Lakers controlling the tip. Gary Payton played by Mike Bibby. And Payton drawing the double, finds Rick Fox, who fires. Kept alive by Cook. And then we get the whistle for the foul. The officials are Steve Javie, Derek Stafford, and Gary Zielinski as the foul is called on Doug Christie. Sard, did you have some thoughts?
He always has some thoughts.
I did, Marv. I had them all ready for the open. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to get it on, but we will get one of these opens on one of these second games, as you know.
All right, the Sacramento Kings without their 3 key players, Chris Webber, in game number 6 of the 8-game suspension. Brad Miller, Bobby Jackson are sidelined, yet they continue to roll.
Well, this is an offensive juggernaut. It's like a masterpiece. It's a Picasso. It's a Rembrandt. And when you talk about that's what it is when you think of offensive basketball. These guys are as good as you get offensively because they can make shots.
Well, Bibby coming up short on the air ball, and here's it from the crowd. Steve, I did not read the artistic flair of the czar.
The czar is a renaissance man.
Oh, yes.
We're talking about points per game, first in the league, 3-point field goal percentage, first in the game, first in assists. This team puts points up on the board, but they're pretty to watch when they do it.
And Payton is able to knock it down. So the Lakers with a 3-0 lead.
Right away, you see Kobe Bryant involving his teammates. He's been playing beautifully in the last 5 games.
Peja Stojakovic going backdoor. Peja averaging 25 a game, 3rd in the NBA in scoring. He's right behind Allen Iverson and Tracy McGrady.
Scorers find easy ways of getting points on the board. Backdoor, easy layup, take some of the pressure off, get to the foul line. He's the best free throw shooter in the NBA. That's why Peja Stojakovic is an MVP candidate.
All right, here's Bryant twisting his way. Kobe Bryant with a beautiful spin. How about Kobe saying that during the All-Star weekend in watching Tim Duncan, he now has picked up a bank shot, which has been very effective, so he has added to the arsenal.
He is a student of the game, there's no question. Kobe loves basketball history.
Oh, Stojakovic from way downtown.
It just looked like a bad shot when he came out. He was so far behind the 3-point line. From the angle we had, it looked like it was way off. Instead, it's right in the middle of the net.
And Kobe able to come up with that pass. Here's Kobe spinning again.
I'll tell you what, he looks stronger and quicker than he has all season, and he talked about it recently. He said he's finally healthy. Boy, has he played well.
And here's a guy who's played well, Sangaila, but that time called for the offensive foul. Good job by Brian Cook in taking the hit.
I thought that perhaps the defensive man did not get up in front of the restricted area, but we'll take a look from up on top. See if he gets his feet set in front of the, he is certainly set in front of the defensive zone, so it's a good call.
Excellent call.
Cook being guarded by fellow rookie Sangaila. And here is Cook. He tried to bank it. Brian Cook, who has played some center, he's played some power forward, and the foul is called on Fox.
How great is Vlade? He looks like a European soccer player, you know, when they carry him off on the stretcher after they get injured, and then he runs back on the field like 30 seconds later.
Fox trying to fight through, over the top.
Look at the head snapping back, a little whiplash.
And here is Stojakovic again from downtown. Now, in recent years, Rick Fox has done an excellent job against Peja Stojakovic. Rick Adelman telling us earlier as Fox tries to come right back with a three. Rick saying, well, he knows the Lakers are going to try to turn this into a wrestling match, particularly with Fox going against Stojakovic.
A lot of teams are trying to play him that way these days. Bruce Bowen does the same thing with San Antonio, but does a great job of making the adjustments and still finding shots.
Here's Christie. And deflected. The Payton is able to control. Shaquille O'Neal. Another point made by Rick Adelman earlier. He says that Lottie has to be very patient. He cannot get in early foul trouble. Beautiful backdoor pass thrown by Divac, but Bibby could not hit. Payton accelerates. And back comes Christie.
To me, the Lakers have taken some rushed, hurried shots early in the game here.
Apparently the ball was deflected. The crowd looking for an up and down. Bryant to the left hand, and we're seeing more of the left hand from Kobe Bryant.
He changed pivot feet twice that time. That was a travel before he banked it off the glass with the left hand.
It's the NBA. That's all right. But how about the bank and the left? Those are the two things he says he's been working on, and he combined them both in that one shot.
Kobe has come out, hit 3 for 3. Lottie once again with that beautiful pass. Stojakovic was pushed on the play.
Here's Kobe. Now watch his feet. He establishes a pivot foot, change it, pick it up, and bank it in off the left hand. He seems to just have more energy, as you mentioned, Steve. He seems stronger right now.
And since the All-Star break, he's averaging just under 34 points, shooting 58%. And what Phil Jackson is particularly pleased about is that assist average.
Yeah, and no coincidence, the Lakers are 5-0 since that time.
Rick Fox sitting down after picking up a second foul. Devin George has checked it. Here's Sangaila trying to pull it up. Cook knocked it away, and last touch by Sangaila, and the length of Brian Cook bothering Darius Sangaila. Lakers with an 11-8 lead as you look at Rick Adelman in his 6th year as head coach of the Kings, 14th as an NBA head coach, 6 years in Portland, 2 with Golden State. Received a contract extension in Sacramento this past offseason.
Well deserved.
He's done an excellent job with the Kings, who are 41-14, 3 straight wins, 7 of the last 8. Here's Shaq. So Shaquille is showing the touch, and the Lakers lead 13-8.
It's just me, but I think Shaq looks like he is way down in weight right now. He really, really looks good out there physically.
I agree, and I sense a newfound energy with this team that we didn't see earlier in the season.
Stojakovic coming up short. Lakers have won 5 in a row, 7 of their last 8. 8 off the mark, but it's tipped home. An 8-0 run by the Lakers.
Well, if there's a weakness for this Kings team, it's rebounding. They get hurt on the boards, especially without Chris Webber. And Cook took advantage of some shoddy boxing out on that play.
Lottie Divac, who has been playing terrific basketball.
It's almost the universal game plan right now against the Lakers. Get Shaq involved defensively with high pick and rolls and hope his man stepping back can make jump shots.
Here's Bibby for 3. Yes. The Sacramento Kings shooting 41% from downtown, leading the NBA. They're 3 for 5 from beyond that three-point line.
You know a guy's a great shooter when he shoots an air ball and then just comes right back and knocks down a 3 on the fast break.
This is Cook coming up short, and hearing it from the crowd.
Yes, he is. Nice call, Marv.
Art Christie. Rebounded by Cook.
Lakers almost playing like one pass, who touches the ball, shoots it next. I mean, there's a lack of ball movement right now. They're fortunate right now that it's only a 2-point game.
And Divac's able to take it away. Bibby met by Bryant, uses the pick from Sangaila and scores another 3. Mike Bibby from downtown, and the Kings are up by 1. So an 8-0 run for Sacramento, matching the 8-0 spurt by the Lakers.
Everywhere you look, there's good shooters on the floor for Sacramento.
Gary Payton and the Lakers recapture the lead with 4.5 to play in this opening quarter.
Want to watch how many times, not counting transitions, because Bibby's come down and hit these shots in transition. Watch how the offense starts with the ball in Divac's hands so much of the time. And normally, you can split that between Miller and Divac where the entry pass goes, because both big men can pass. But without Miller here, it always starts with Divac. But right now, the guy who's got the hot hand is this guy, Michael Bibby, who shot an air ball, but that came right back, showing no lack in confidence behind the screen by Singala, then comes right back again and knocks down another one. Screen set by the same man.
In Denver, one in which today the NBA admitted to an officiating error. Let you take a look at it. A 2-point game, Denver with the ball and the lead. When this shot goes up, official Michael Henderson blows the whistle, stopping play, saying a 24-second violation. However, as you see on the replay, the ball indeed did hit the rim. Stu Jackson, the senior vice president for the NBA, announced today that the call was incorrect. The ball, in fact, hit the rim. It was a very unfortunate call at a highly critical point in the game, and we at the NBA are very much in regret of the error.
What do you guys feel about that?
I go back to my thing I've said for a long time as Payton misses the shot, but Shaq follows it up and is fouled on the offensive rebound. Marv, I think there are times and places that replay can save games for teams and overturn an incorrect call. And if it's thought out just for a moment, give people the opportunity to challenge a call, because that made the difference in last night's game for Denver. And in the tight Western Conference, it could mean a playoff spot eventually.
But, you know, the NBA did issue an apology, so I think Denver's fine with it now.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I think they're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, they feel real good about that one today.
Well, Shaq hit his first free throw attempt. 3-point play. Lakers up 20-16. Well, Sacramento, 12 of their 16 points have come on 3-point shots. O'Neal switching off to Stojakovic, who fires for 3. And Peja is on fire. 4 for 5 from the field. He has 11-3 from downtown.
What I love to watch is his movement without the ball before he even gets the shot.
Payton right back. Good shooting first quarter at both ends. Lakers up by 3.
We've seen Peja get off to quick starts in a lot of other games, but then in the third or fourth quarter, it seems like all of a sudden he either wears out or the team gets into him physically and he winds up going maybe 1-point, 2-point quarters. So we'll see if he can sustain this over the entire game.
Although this past Tuesday night in the win over the Knicks in Sacramento, here's George for 3. Sacramento's last game, Peja got off to a slow start and then came on in the fourth quarter. Divac with the backdoor flip. It counts in the foul. Another beautiful pass by Vlade Divac.
That's what Rick Adelman said. They believe in this guy, Vlade Divac. They put the ball in his hands because they have so much trust in his decision-making and the high skill level that he has. Catch, bounce it on the floor, another layup.
Off to a sensational start.
You mentioned moving without the ball there. He comes behind for an outside handoff. Then he'll backdoor you if you overplay him too much on the high side. And again, moving without the ball, he winds up with Shaq guarding him out by the 3-point line. No way the big man can guard him out there. Peja Stojakovic, Steve, he's beautiful to watch because he is constantly in motion trying to earn these open shots.
You know who reminds me of a little bit is the late Drazen Petrovic. Remember what a great shooter he was, but what was amazing about him was how strong and physically fit he was and able to run off screens for 48 minutes and still knock down jumpers late in the game.
Tony Massenberg and Anthony Peeler, one-time Laker, have come on for the Sacramento Kings. Slava Medvedenko, who did not start tonight, as we mentioned earlier, suffering from a chest cold, missed shoot-around. Apparently that was not appreciated, and the rookie Brian Cook was in the starting lineup. Derek Fisher has come on for Gary Payton. This is Fisher with the runner. And rebounded by Singala. He stepped out of bounds, so the Lakers maintain possession.
So you want to go back to moving without the ball, and Stojakovic, probably the guy that I can think of in the league that moves as much as he does without the ball, might be Allen Iverson. Two guys that wear themselves out just to try to get the ball.
And Reggie Miller would probably be thrown into that group, but Stojakovic has the strength to be able to sustain that all game and still shoot well in the fourth quarter.
Bryant is hacked, and he will head to the foul line. The foul on Bibby, that is his first. What a stretch it has been for Kobe Bryant, despite the ongoing off-the-court legal issues. Kobe breaking out following the All-Star break, had 40 points Sunday against the Suns in Phoenix. Last night in Denver, 14 for 26, 35 points, 10 assists. And that assist total has been up.
And watching the last couple of games, he just looks like he's got some renewed energy. You know, this has been such a terribly difficult season for him, dealing with all of the distractions and the injuries. And he looks like he's finally coming around and ready to perform as he has so well in the playoffs the last few years.
Lakers 27, Kings 22. Coming up on 2 minutes to go in the first. Stojakovic wide open. It's like a layup for Peja Stojakovic. Another three. He has 14 points. He is 4 for 5 from downtown.
Great execution offensively by the Kings to free him up for that shot.
Nice play by Singala, but kept alive. Here's Bryant. Tip missed by George. Bryant is on it. And it is deflected out. Last touch by the Kings. .22 on the shot clock. And Devin George will throw in. Medvedenko is up front with George and Grant. Bryant and Fisher in the backcourt. Here's Bryant getting the step on Peeler. And the foul, it is on Anthony Peeler.
Well, Peeler knew he had one more foul to give before the end of the quarter, so he was playing Kobe aggressively. Smart play, and now the Lakers have to take the ball out of bounds.
This is the second of 4 meetings between the Kings and the Lakers at Arco in Sacramento in mid-January. Kings beat the Lakers by 20. Lakers without Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, Rick Fox. And now Stojakovic able to race it down. That was a game that saw Kareem Rush put up a career high of 30. Bibby for 3. 12 points for Bibby. 3 of 4 from beyond that three-point line. And the Kings 7 of 9 from downtown.
Steve, you know where that nail is in the middle of the foul line? Well, it seems like he has a nail, Bibby, and there's the inside move by Horace Grant. It seems like Bibby's got a nail behind the three-point line, the right side of the top of the circle that he runs to each time. That's where he's hit his shots from.
And last touch by Peeler, so the Lakers take possession.
And you know, it's never a good sign when you're 7 for 9 from 3 and you're losing. So the Sacramento's going to have to start defending a little bit better and doing some other things besides making a few three-pointers, because this is a strange situation to be in.
Pat Riley calls it fool's gold. It can catch up, although this team does shoot 41% from three-point land. Bryant lost it. Here comes Stojakovic going behind the back on George. And then pulls it back.
How about the job Peeler did there defensively on Kobe?
Stojakovic off the screen. That's a rare miss from three-point land.
You can hear the crowd sort of heave a sigh of relief. They finally missed one.
This will just be an open the court, let Kobe create something. When the shot clock gets down to around 6 or 5, he'll start to make his move.
Final seconds of the quarter. Here is Bryant trying to make that move. Spins away. Went with the left hand and was way off.
Be a little too ambitious with that left.
Peja Stojakovic and Mike Bibby have 26 of Sacramento's 28 points. 14 for Stojakovic. After one, it's the Lakers 29, the Kings 28. Phil telling us that he sat down with Kobe Bryant right after the All-Star break to clear the air. They both agreed, no matter what their feelings, they should, as he put it, stay in the present, get the job done this season. Recall during the All-Star break, Kobe had said he likes Phil as a coach, but not as a person. Bibby fires one up and draws the foul. Now, Steve, you were saying you like the Czar as a color commentator, but not as a person. And I thought that was kind of harsh.
Can't we keep those conversations private, Marv? I thought I told you that in confidence.
You know, Marv, Phil brought up the point that he mentioned to Kobe. You're faced with the sudden reality that we may only have 2 or 3 months left together based on what Kobe decides to do at the end. So let's just make these the best 2 or 3 months we both can, while you doing your part and me doing my part. And as you said, deal with now. What's going on right now?
And there's certainly a question about Phil Jackson's coaching future here in Los Angeles. The Lakers concluding their contract talks. They say they'll pick it up after the season. Second quarter is underway. Tony Massenberg now defending on Shaquille O'Neal. Kareem Rush has checked in. That's Devin George coming up short on the 3.
And you know, Phil Jackson has always talked about living in the present. That's one of the things he does as a coach. His teams practice meditation and yoga. So this comes naturally to him. I think this kind of situation they're in right now.
Well, Massenberg not able to hit, but Jabari Smith, 4-year man from LSU, just came on. And the clear path for the putback.
That's because Shaq came over to help out Medvedenko, tried to block the shot. Nobody put her body on Smith.
Nice move by Slava Medvedenko.
Mark, at the end of the first quarter, when you look at the stat sheet, you notice that the second chance points, Lakers 6-0. Points in the paint, Lakers 18-4. All the stuff that the big people do inside, all in favor of the Lakers. But the fast break points, 9-zip in favor of Sacramento.
O'Neal trying to get it down low, and the Lakers got a break deflected out by the Kings. That's not a pass that you want to throw to Shaquille O'Neal on the move, as Kareem Rush attempted.
Especially at this stage of his career, you got to be a little careful with that. And then Marv, Mike, the other stat, of course, that stands out: 7 3-pointers for the Kings to 1 for the Lakers, but you just can't count on that the whole game.
How about Kareem Rush? That's his first shot attempt. His last shot attempt last night, the 3-pointer with 3 seconds remaining, the game winner against the Nuggets in Denver.
I always felt as a young player, especially if you hit a big shot in a game, your confidence just soars, and I would expect Kareem Rush to have a nice little stretch here tonight.
Not a good shot by Jabari Smith.
And the 2 players that made things happen, as Shaq tries to throw the pass to Medvedenko behind him, the 2 players that made things happen at the end of the game for the Lakers were Luke Walton, who had the ball and created the play. You'll see it get back to Walton, drive, get in the air, kick back out. There's Rush with the 3 to win the game.
It's one of the best things that can happen to a team, because everybody's used to Kobe or Shaq making the big play. When you get 2 bench guys making a huge play to win the game, as we see Shaq get fouled on his way to the hoop. When you see a guy like Luke Walton, who doesn't play a whole lot, he makes a big play. Kareem Rush, who's had some tough times as a Laker in his 2 years trying to get his feet under him. Those guys make big plays. All of a sudden, the spirit and the camaraderie of the team just builds, and the team gets better.
Shaq hit his first free throw, only 51% from the foul line. Now Shaq and the Lakers are about $9.5 million apart in their negotiations to extend the contract, and Shaq had some strong words to say about general manager Mitch Kupchak. Here's Mitch, as Shaq has insisted on taking credit for recruiting Gary Payton and Karl Malone. Shaq saying they are my real general manager skills. Peeler with his first bucket. And he said the general manager we have needs to take notes from me, because if I was general manager with a team like this, there'd be no problems. No problems with the coach, no problems, as he put it, with the coach there, and no problems with the owner. Here is Shaq getting inside.
I think Mitch Kupchak knows at this point, you take everything Shaq says with a grain of salt. And he said so many outrageous things in his career that you just have to kind of laugh it off and go with it.
And Shaq kind of firing it out there. 3 minutes gone by. And the second, Lakers up by 1. Shot clock to 1. Too late. 24-second violation. The basket will not count.
Tough spot to get the ball thrown to you. 1 second left on the 24-second clock, and you're behind the three-point line. And he still made it, but it was too late. Made it to an NBA All-Star game. Quite a tribute to those players. Marv, you ran out of time on your answers.
Idle Thoughts has become a quiz now. Well, what is this all about?
Sometimes
you
it's
have nothing
informative.
going.
Sometimes we deal with art.
I see.
Politics.
Right.
I'm telling you, he's a Renaissance man.
8.5 remaining in this first half as Doug Christie trying to take it to the rim. As someone got a piece of it, here comes Fisher. Shaquille O'Neal from Derek Fisher and the Lakers with a 37-34 lead. And Shaq 5 for 5 from the field with 11 points.
I don't know if you noticed Shaq kind of point with his left hand to Fisher, like get over that way, move to the left, and that's what opened up the passing lane.
Ari Smith rebounded by Massenberg, and he is fouled. Rick Adelman buying some time for Vlade Divac, who does not have a personal foul, but sitting him out for a stretch. So he has stayed with Massenberg and Smith on the floor. Shaq on the foul.
You have two concerns with Vlade. First, you want to keep him out of foul trouble, but secondly, he's 37 years old. He's playing heavy minutes without Weber and Miller by his side, so you've got to keep his minutes down as much as you can.
When you talk to Rick Adelman about Vlade, he said this guy has just been simply incredible with the level of performance that he has had this year. He said he's just fun to watch play, and this guy still has a zest for the game, Vlade.
The only other center I can think of who's such a good passer is Arvydas Sabonis, but Vlade is so much fun to watch the way he just picks teams apart.
Lakers by 2, just under 8 remaining in the first half. Marv Albert with the Czar, Mike Fratello, Steve Kerr, Craig Sager with Staples in Los Angeles. A meeting of two of the best in the West. Sacramento 41-14. That's the best record of the NBA. Kareem Rush showing the touch. He's hit 2 for 2 from the field. The Lakers 36-19. They've won 5 straight, 7 of their last 8. Lost it. Anthony Peeler stepped out. So the ball back to the Lakers. Well, San Antonio, a half game in front of the Lakers. Lakers are percentage points in front of Dallas in the first of our doubleheader here on TNT. Mavericks beat the Spurs 115-91. In that game, Tim Duncan hurt his knee, was forced out of the game. And you see Michael Finley leading the way with 30 points, 10 of 14 from the field.
Look at Duncan's numbers, 22 and 17, and he had to leave in the third quarter. And certainly we hope he's
That's not a serious injury to Tim Duncan.
Foul was called on Jabari Smith, putting Slava Medvedenko at the line.
You know, we saw that Sacramento is 5 games ahead of the Lakers in the loss column. That makes this a huge game because these two teams play 2 more times down the stretch. And if the Lakers win this game to come within 4 games in the loss column, they're in good shape to catch Sacramento for the division title.
In that game, San Antonio missed their first 11 shots in the fourth quarter.
No Tim Duncan. That'll happen.
Bryant. The tip missed by O'Neal. It's a 3-on-2. Peeler looked to set up for a 3. Stepped out once again.
So many times that happens with players who have the habit of dropping that foot back. And you know where that develops, Steve, a lot of times in the 2-hour shoot-around part before the game. When they come out at, let's say, 5:30, 5:45, and they shoot, so many of them don't pay attention to where their feet are as they take their warm-up shots out there working with the assistant coaches.
I'm right with you. I'm amazed how many players practice from that corner and end up stepping on the line during their sessions.
They double up on O'Neal. Shaq able to recover. Shot clock at 5. Bryant is stripped. Kobe Bryant stripped on the play by Gerald Wallace. Here is Bibby for three. Back comes Kobe. And Bryant lost it. Recovered by Medvedenko. Here's Bryant to the left hand. Rebounded by Divac, and Kobe thought he was fouled.
He's fallen in love with that left. That's the third time we've seen him put that shot up.
Here's Bibby, and he is fouled. It was blocked by Rush. Timeout is called by the Lakers. 5:47 remaining in this first half. Los Angeles by 6. Craig Sager.
Well, you're looking at Mike Bibby. Mike Bibby and Kobe Bryant have a rivalry that dates back to their high school days. They were both in the 1996 McDonald's game in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This was Kobe. According to Mike Bibby, all he remembers about the game was Kobe dunking, getting easy dunks like this one. And the East beat the West, though, 120-105. Bibby hitting this outside shot. They talked about a tournament they played earlier in the year, the Myrtle Beach Classic, in which Mike Bibby had 44, 40, and 38 points to set an all-time scoring record in that tournament, one more than Kobe. Since that day, they've been fighting back and forth.
Oh, those high school memories, Steve.
You know, Mike Bibby is also the all-time leading scorer in Arizona state history, high school state basketball. Just for you trivia buffs out there.
Might end up on an idle thought later in the season. Lakers 41 and the Kings 36. Mike Bibby in his 6th year out of Arizona 2 years ago established himself in the postseason last year. Came back from injuries, really struggled, missed 27 games, made it back from a broken foot.
He really had a terrific year this year. Played better defensively, too. He surprised Larry Brown in the World Championships qualifying tournament, or Olympic qualifying tournament last summer.
And Bryant is fouled by Christie. Christie is second. Luke Walton has come on for the first time. So the Lakers now have O'Neal with Walton. Ryan Russell is on the court for the first time. Reminder, tomorrow night on ESPN, it's the Raptors and the Celtics. Suns at the Sonics starting at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Saturday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on NBA TV, it's the Sixers and the Pacers. And on Sunday, March the 7th, 12:30 start on ABC, Mavericks and the Rockets, followed by the Nets and the Lakers. The Nets actually went through the throes of a loss. That must have been emotional for Lawrence Frank.
Well, we didn't sleep that night.
Christie met by O'Neal. Wallace had it knocked away, recovered by Christie. Doug Christie with a sensational shot and a technical foul. A technical foul was handed out on Doug Christie for a taunt.
Well, he wanted a foul, I think. I think he was yelling at the official afterwards, actually. Yeah, he's yelling at Derek Stafford there, wanting the foul. Derek not having any of it. And I'll tell you, if you're a player in this game, when you walk out on the floor, you see Steve Javie and Derek Stafford, you got to know right away. Keep your mouth shut.
So the Lakers now lead by 5. Kobe Bryant able to hit on the technical. There's Bryant battling for that pass and able to go glass.
Battling is the correct term, because just to catch that ball, he really had to work and take the physical contact and then finish the play.
And Christie is fouled. Foul committed by Bryant.
Quite a matchup, these two, Christie and Bryant, two of the most athletic swingmen in the league. And Christie just took it upon himself to draw this foul. He knew that he was already a little trouble with the officials on the last play, but if you're aggressive, go to the rim, can get a call.
Doug Christie, one-time Laker in his 12th season out of Pepperdine. Christie an 84% free throw shooter. And the Lakers now lead by 6, just under 5 minutes remaining in the first half.
Marv, do you know that there are 3 players that have played for both of these teams that are on the floor this evening?
Is this another idle thought quiz?
Idle trivia.
Yes. With Lonnie Devonts, Anthony Peeler, Doug Christie for Sacramento.
Just thought I'd mention it, Marv. I mean, I knew that you knew it. I just threw it out there.
You have nothing to talk about here tonight? Christie able to stuff. You're in a quiz mode. Lakers up by 4. Here is Russell.
Mike, do you know where Russell went to college?
Well, I just don't have to have that
And Darius Sungaila lays it home, so the Kings are within 2.
Steve, he's a Long Beach State guy.
Okay.
You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that follows the NBA.
Since we're playing trivia tonight, I just thought I'd join in.
And Shaq lost it. Off the double. Sungaila came up with it.
Saw the 3 purple jerseys, the emergency situation as the shot is blocked by Shaquille. Here come the Lakers back in transition.
And Payton lost it. Maybe met by Russell. Yes.
That is so pretty.
He has that effortless stroke. 7-0 run for Sacramento. Bibby with 18 points.
He's got such a nice handle on the ball, too. He lulls you to sleep with that little hesitation and then shoots it before you know it.
And Payton lost it. He was stripped. Christie around Bryant and stepped out.
Well, Mike Bibby getting the Kings back in this game, both defensively and with his shooting. You see here the nice steal on an unhappy Gary Payton. And then at the other end, little dribble fake and boop. Beautiful jump shot.
His role as Chili Palmer, and I'm playing Martin Weir, and Uma Thurman's in it, and Harvey Keitel, and we got a great cast, and we're very excited to be here at this wonderful game.
What shots will be shot here at the game
We're
tonight?
shooting right now. We're shooting. You don't know it, but we're shooting you right now. I've got 4 cameras up above the back there. We got Uma Thurman over there. We got John Travolta. We got Steven Tyler who's in the movie.
Am I in the movie?
You're in the movie right now. Yeah, you don't. You know, it's like all secret stuff. It's in the background. But you want to sign a release?
No problem. But speaking of being in the movie, the Czar wants to know if you could be possibly your stunt double.
Who?
Mike Fratello?
Let's see. Mike Fratello, Italian guy?
Oh, very much so.
Hey, anything you want, Mike.
All right, good luck with the movie. Enjoy the game.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Czar. Hollywood beckons.
I like the quick recognition on his part. The Who?
Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in this first half off the steal. Payton. Shaq sets up with a pivot. O'Neal is fouled and taken down. Yes. Gerald Wallace involved with Shaquille O'Neal, so Shaq will go to the line. Let's check in with Ernie Johnson back in our Atlanta studios. Ernie?
Yeah, thank you, Marv. Getting ready for the Verizon Wireless halftime report. Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, and Kenny Smith will be here with their idle thoughts on the first half. And we will have the latest from San Antonio, where Tim Duncan left that game with a leg injury tonight as the Spurs lost to the Dallas Mavericks. Right now, let's go back to you and Steve and who?
We say the same, Ernie. It's Hollywood Mike. Flagrant foul was charged. Gerald Wallace, so Shaquille O'Neal hears the applause as he hits his first. Shaq now 2 of 4 at the line. So hits on both, and the Lakers will have possession.
I thought that was a bad call. Shaq was actually the one who grabbed Wallace on the way down. Wallace wasn't doing anything blatantly, and the two kind of collided in midair. It was kind of an innocent play by Wallace, and Shaq was the one who grabbed him.
Lakers 50, and the Kings 46. Now Bryant working on Wallace, using the pick, and is fouled. So Kobe will go to the line, and a technical foul. Vlade Divac is teed up.
These officials are so wired right now. During the timeout, Marv, you had coaches from both sides, players from both sides talking to them. They've heard enough. They've warned both sides, and we may see a few more coming before this game's over.
Kobe not able to take advantage of that technical.
You see Vlade getting a piece of the ball, and that's when the foul is called. And Vlade can't believe that it's called on him because he felt his hand was all over the ball.
And I think Steve Javie is jealous of Derek Stafford right now. He's called all the tees tonight.
Sacramento now over the foul limit. A 22nd timeout has been taken with minute 49 left in this first half. There is Derek Stafford. Vlade now very diplomatically looking to settle things down.
And Gerald Wallace is still wondering, why was that flagrant called on me? So I was just standing there, and Shaq took me down.
Well, you know these officials are going to be extra careful because of the history of bad blood between these two teams.
And that goes back to preseason of last year when Rick Fox and Doug Christie got into it. It's been a heated rivalry in recent years. Lakers eliminating the Kings in the postseason 3 straight times.
And I don't know if you saw Jerry Reynolds, the player personnel director of the Sacramento Kings. He recently said, the only reason I'm here on earth is to watch us beat the Lakers in the playoffs. So this is a huge rivalry.
Lakers 52, the Kings 46. And this is only the second of 4 meetings this season between these two clubs. Wallace, nice play by Gerald Wallace, able to bank it over O'Neal. Gerald Wallace in his 3rd year out of Alabama, played only 1 season of college ball, a slasher, an excellent leaper, only 21 years of age.
I thought he would develop a little bit more than he has so far. And I understand it's tough for him to get minutes on this team because there's so many talented players ahead of him. But 2 seasons ago, I thought this young man really had a chance.
Luke Walton, who rarely looks for the shot. The clock running down. He had to flip it up. Bibby lost it. Ends up being deflected into the backcourt, and Russell is called for the fouls. Beginning to look like a rugby get-together. Guys all over the court, very physical second quarter.
Russell almost came up with the steal when he got the deflection. Now it's rolling on the floor, and Bibby does a good job of protecting it with his body. The contact, not intentional, obviously, but still a clear foul.
Both teams are over the foul limit. Mike Bibby's had an outstanding first half, and usually an excellent free throw shooter. At one point last season, hit 54 in a row. And he is 6 of 7 at the line here tonight. Lakers up by 5, just under 1 minute remaining first half. Payton backing his way. Here's Bryant for 3. Yes. Kobe Bryant from downtown to extend to a 57-49 lead.
And Sacramento probably will look for a 2-for-1 here.
Wallace came up short. 6-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Jack sets the pick up high. Bryant had it knocked away and a foul. As Bryant and Divac came together, both arguing the call, and then Vlade Divac, who thought the foul might be called on him, is told no, it's on Kobe.
I honestly thought that the Lakers going to be at the foul line right now. That's the way it looked to me from here when the whistle was blown in the hand direction. But you see Kobe then reaching in at the end and fouling Vlade right there on the arm.
And the theatrics again by Vlade. I think he actually wanted a technical foul because of what Kobe did, hitting him in the face on that follow-through.
Vlade, a 66% free throw shooter. He spent 7 years as a member of the Lakers, involved in the trade that brought Kobe Bryant to L.A.
Yeah, he's played a pretty prominent role in Laker history because he was their center when they made it to the finals against the Bulls back in '91, and of course the trade for Kobe. And now, of course, the bitter rival of the Lakers.
Vlade spending 2 years with the Hornets in Charlotte, which led to that Kobe Bryant trade. And that will do it for the first half. The High Point man, Mike Bibby, with 19. Kobe Bryant, 18. Shaquille O'Neal with 13. Halftime at Staples in Los Angeles. The Lakers 57 and the Kings 49. Let's go to times to that free throw strike. 49. Let's go to times to that free throw strike.
Well, they are the 28th free throw shooting team, ranked 28th in the league. Next to last, shoots 69% from the foul line. Here they are shooting 77 in the first half, and then the bench, 17-7 advantage for the Laker bench.
Songaila with some room, able to hit over Fox. Came over, not in time. Darius Songaila, the rookie from Wake Forest, by way of Lithuania, with his second field goal, and the Lakers now lead by 6. And Phil Jackson going with the unit that started the game, including the rookie from Illinois, Brian Cook. This is Cook. Yes, Brian Cook. Making only a second start of the season, starting instead of Slava Medvedenko, who missed the shoot-around earlier today. Slava saying that he had chest cold. I don't know if they bought that.
My goodness, Marv, are you implying that he was lying about an illness?
No. Songaila is called for the foul. There's Slava, who has actually done a nice job with all the injuries suffered by the Lakers. He and Kareem Rush have had additional playing time this season.
He's done an excellent job, and I think he's better suited to come off the bench anyway because he loves to shoot that ball, so he can be instant offense for the Lakers.
Stojakovic looking to steal, but deflected it out.
Well, two players that have gotten an opportunity to play for their respective teams because of injuries. One, Medvedenko, as you said. The other one, Songaila, all getting opportunities and making the most of it.
Similar players, too. You know, both very active and pretty athletic, probably a little quicker than they look. I think the difference, Songaila probably a little tougher inside, a little more apt to mix it up with the big guys.
Darius Songaila, originally a second-round pick of the Boston Celtics, traded to Sacramento for 2 second-round picks. Rick Adelman is saying that he loves the consistent effort. Lakers turn it over. Lonnie Divac makes the point that Songaila's not a rookie. He said he's played overseas. He played 4 years in college. Stojakovic looked like he cuffed the ball as he went up to release over Fox.
Yeah, I think it slipped out of his hand, and he still made it.
Lakers by 6. We're just underway in the third quarter.
You know, these days, if you play 4 years in college, that qualifies you as a non-rookie.
Here's Kobe. Kobe Bryant taking it to the rim.
And Shaq trying to prove to Steve that Vlade is not the only great passing center. As we see the finish by Doug Christie, two-handed on the slam.
Lakers up 61-55. Steve, the birthday boy, performing very well here tonight, as is Kobe Bryant. 22 points for Bryant. Lakers by 8.
You're going to share with us how old you are? Or is that private business?
Not sure it's necessary.
Here's Bibby. 63-57.
Oh, you got me nervous when you said 63.
Czar, it's how you feel. It's not the number.
How's that hip replacement doing, by the way?
Hip replacement doing great.
All right, here's Fox for three. Stojakovic. Oh, what a pass thrown by Bibby.
Pass. Incredible.
You know, you two laughed when I said it's like a Rembrandt or a Picasso earlier to watch this team on offense, but they are beautiful to watch because they score in so many different ways.
We were laughing at you, not the words.
We're laughing at the Kings.
Bryant off the fake, able to go glass. He loves those bank shots. Christie is open. Cook diving for it. Shaq could not get to it. Stojakovic does. And he stepped out. That's the fourth time that a Sacramento King player has stepped out of bounds.
And Shaq's going to love it because he's going to say he pressured him into a turnover. He pressured him so hard that he got Peja to dribble out of bounds.
And he did. He came right at Peja, forced him to back up.
Payton and Bryant of the backcourt. Fox, O'Neal, and Cook up front. Here is Cook. He's hit two in a row.
Same spot almost, both of them.
Confident shooter for a rookie.
Nice move by Bibby. And back comes Bryant. You see him surveying the court. Gets it down to O'Neal. Shaq is rejected. Nice play by Divac, and last touch by the Lakers.
Vlade does a pretty nice job on Shaq. I think he's played him so many times. He knows he's got to beat him to that spot in the center of the lane on the fast break. And then he, of course, does a pretty good job of maneuvering his body and maybe duping the refs a little bit now and then.
I thought you said he's crafty.
He is now. He's crafty now, but as an opponent, I always thought he was dirty, but not anymore.
Yes, last week when we telecast the T-Wolves and the Kings after the game, Vlade came up to you, Steve, as Payton not able to hit. Bryant on the follow. And Vlade, with a smile, said, Steve, did you say I'm a dirty player? And you said, no, crafty. And he accepted that.
Yeah, he liked crafty better.
See Vlade that time sucker Shaq into the foul. It looked like Vlade was going to come right back to the left side of the floor, but he quickly caught it, swept it through, ducked his head and shoulder, got by Shaq. Shaq picked up. He could just caught Shaq flat-footed. That was it.
Stojakovic, yes. So Peja from downtown, he has 21. He's 5 of 8 from beyond that three-point line.
Just love watching this team play. So many guys on the floor who can shoot it, which spreads the floor, and that allows them to make all those back cuts to the hoop.
And again, the foul on Shaquille O'Neal. That's number 3. Lakers with their second team foul. Coming into tonight's game, the Sacramento Kings were concerned about Vlade Divac getting into foul trouble. Vlade does not have a personal, and Shaq just picked up his third. Here's Stojakovic, way off. It was a catch and shoot, and the ball back to the Lakers.
The one thing that Rick Adler told us about Vlade is he understands when Shaq's got him to the point that he should just kind of give up on the play. No sense taking the foul. Now, we know that when they have full complement, meaning Weber along with Miller and Vlade, then they will take fouls on Shaq rather than give up scores. But right now, since they're so short-handed, Vlade can't afford to do it.
Nice box out by Divac and able to protect. Maybe asking for the screen. He wants Sengaila to come out, but did not make it in time. Here's Christie. Oh, the acceleration of Doug Christie to bring the Kings within 5.
And one of the things that happens when you set up your center, in this case Vlade Divac, 25 feet from the basket, that means there's going to be no defensive help from Shaq because he's out at the three-point line.
Good job by Christie staying in front of Bryant, leading to the turnover.
That's a tough passing angle right there. Shaq flashing in. There's a foul on the jump shot by Gary Payton on Bibby. Shaq flashing in from opposite the ball. It's tough to get that passing angle and be successful.
Lakers take a timeout, just under 6 remaining in the third.
Doug Christie showing the athleticism, and with the floor spread, No help defense.
Worried about the splits and how you're going to play the splits. Watch this neat out-of-bounds play. Peja Stojakovic has the ball out of bounds. What's going to happen is he will inbound the ball to Vlade stepping up, and then from down low, Bibby comes up and screens his man, and then Vlade from out of bounds winds up running a split. So they run a split from the sideline out of bounds play to wind up getting Peja the wide open jump shot. Nice back pick screen by Bibby, and then when you got a guy like Peja who can shoot it like that, it makes it look good.
Oh, that's the key right there, because you saw Gary Payton really challenge the shot well, but this guy is so strong, and he shoots that ball kind of from behind his head, a la Larry Bird, a little flick of the wrist, and that shot is money.
Mike Bibby, an 81% free throw shooter, 7 of 8 at the line tonight. So that Laker lead is down to 3. 7-0 run for Sacramento. Marv Albert, Nazar, Mike Fratello, Steve Kerr, Craig Sager. We are in Los Angeles. It's the second of our TNT doubleheader. Here is Fox going glass. Rebounded by Fox. Nice move. Rick Fox on the follow for his first field goal.
Fox is still finding his way since the injury, trying to be a little more aggressive offensively, but so difficult as a player to sit out that long and come back and be in rhythm.
Yes, Rick making it back from surgery on his left foot. Missed the first 41 games. Here's Bryant. Beautiful pass. Cook from Bryant. Brian Cook, a first-round draft pick of the Lakers. 24th overall selection as a senior last year, the Big Ten Player of the Year, playing for Illinois. Bibby with nowhere to go. Singaila chasing. It was deflected. No backcourt violation. Shot clock to 5. Christie for 3. Rebound handled by Stojakovic, and he's fouled. Took the hit.
One more pass from Christie that time. You had Peja standing wide open in the corner. The way he's been shooting, I'm not so sure I wouldn't have gotten it over to him immediately.
Foul on Cook. That is his first. And Peja Stojakovic, who leads the NBA at the free throw line at 93% at the line for the first time tonight. In our earlier game, Dallas beat San Antonio 115 to 91. The other game of the NBA tonight, Washington beat Chicago 95-87.
How much fun is this Western Conference race going to be to watch here the last 6 weeks or so of the season? You got everybody bunched up at the top.
How about Memphis? Job Hubie Brown is down there. I know they lost a tough game to Golden State, a little bit of controversy in that game with Hubie being ejected, but Memphis has just played sensational over the last couple of weeks.
As Bryant try to find O'Neal, a foul is called. Sacramento sitting on top of that Western Conference. Foul on Divac. Minnesota just a half game back. San Antonio half game in front of the Lakers. And Dallas Lakers by percentage points over the Mavericks.
And you know everybody wants to stay away from that 4-5 matchup. So it's going to be a race to the finish as we see Shaq knock down the jump hook.
15 for Shaquille. Lakers 75 and the Kings 68. Stojakovic moving left on Fox, and he is fouled.
Fox defensively got himself in a real bad defensive position because he had opened his stance up so much that he gave Peja a clean alley to put the ball, drive it with his left hand, and then Fox just running alongside and eventually going to foul.
That's 3 on Fox. Lakers over the foul limit. So Peja Stojakovic back at the line. Well, tune in every Sunday night for NBA TV's Ahmad Rashad one-on-one this week. Ahmad with special guest Tom Cavanaugh. It's Sunday at 11 o'clock Eastern Time on NBA TV. So Peja Stojakovic with 11 of his 25 here in the third.
Well, with Weber missing the entire season basically up to this point, think about the scoring load placed on Peja. He's been the leading scorer for this team 41 out of 55 games they've played.
Bryant attempting a 3, hit one earlier. Here's Weber. serving game 6 of that 8-game suspension. Songaila had no angle, rebounded by O'Neal. Cook feeling some confidence. He hit a couple of side jumpers.
Where Bibby loves to go right to left crossover on this sideline when they play pick and roll. Peyton a little too smart for it that time, took away that spot.
Found Divac, but Divac called for the charge. Good play by the rookie, Brian Cook.
Great play, sliding over in front of Divac and getting his feet outside that semicircle. And it's an area of his game that he's improved with. His defense, not what he's known for. But very quick rotation there by Cook. That's the second charge we've seen him take tonight.
Brian Cook has made it back from that fractured pinky finger. Sat on the injured list for quite some time. He had surgery. Tipped home by Cook. Well, Brian Cook has played well. He's now 4 of 5 from the field in this third quarter. He now has 9 points. This only his second NBA start. Stojakovic getting involved with Fox and a foul.
That's a bad foul because the Lakers are in the penalty. This is 2 points coming up for Stojakovic.
Number 4 on Fox. Now look at the offered the Czar a role as an extra. Said he put him somewhere far off in the background.
And Mark, for the people in the crowd that don't understand what's going on, they've done that same little thing now about 4 or 5 different times during the game where they walk up, hug little hug, kiss, shake their shoulders together. John Travolta keeps looking over his shoulder. People got to be going like, what is wrong with them? They're watching him from up above.
I think Steven Tyler maybe messing up his line on purpose so he gets to keep hugging Uma.
We've seen take 8, take 9,
right.
take 10.
Hey, guys on the bench love this stuff. I mean, players may downplay it, but we would always stargaze when we come to the Staples Center.
Slava Medvedenko is back on the floor coming on from Brian Cook. And Kobe again went with the left hand.
But how about the pass? Shaq gave a little roll pass down on the ground. He's trying to show Vlade he's got a little stuff.
Crispy's pass for Divac, rejected by O'Neal. That's his second block. Derek Fisher putting the speed on. Ryan, nice play as he is stripped by Peeler. Divac on the hop kick. Christie.
Oh my!
That's fun basketball to watch. When you play that unselfishly, and Kobe that time had Medvedenko to his left when he came down. Instead, he tried to split 3 people and lost the ball. At the other end, you see the passing and scoring, and that time Shaq with the turnaround in the lane.
Lakers 79, the Kings 74, just under 2 minutes remaining in the third. Vlade Divac has 5 assists.
He's got to keep playing next year, by the way.
Stojakovic. Was there any question about Vlade not continuing?
He's talked about possibly retiring, but I just think the way he passes the ball and what he means to this team and to the NBA, I'd love to see him, for selfish reasons, stay, and I'm sure Rick Adelman feels the same way.
His 15th year, 37 years old. Fisher. Good-looking stroke by Derek Fisher. Lakers 81, the Kings 76. 1 minute left in the third.
Mark, the Sacramento Kings will have 4 free agents at the end of the season as another three-pointer by Peja.
He is 6 of 9 from downtown.
I was just saying they're going to have 4 free agents, and the Lakers could have as many as 6 free agents at the end of this season.
Lakers by 2. Medvedenko with room. Anthony Peeler now operating at the point as he did the other night against the Knicks for a brief period of time with Bibby getting a rest. Oh, look out. Devin George making contact and then could not believe that Vlade put a little extra on it as he hit the floor.
I thought he caught him pretty good with his left elbow as he got to the screen.
He caught him, but Vlade, I'm sure, put a little extra on the acting job here. Yeah. You talk about getting a spot in that movie. I mean, Vladdy's the perfect guy.
He could be auditioning right now. We don't know that.
Evots 0 for 2 at the line.
So one part of his game that has never been great, and it's surprising because he's an excellent shooter. When you see him from the field during the game, he's got a beautiful stroke, but he's always struggled a little bit from the foul line.
At 66% this season. Lakers can hold for a final shot of the third. It's a one-point game. Lakers with the ball and the lead. Final seconds. Out of 3. 2. And Peeler able to give the foul. But that stops the clock with 2 3/10 seconds remaining in the third.
That was excellent timing that time on Peeler. The clock, he let it get down right to the point where he felt he may have been challenged and beaten off the dribble, and then took the foul. They didn't use it up too early. That's what I like about that defensive sequence.
Something teams might want to work a little bit more on.
Mike George will throw in. Bryant from way downtown. After 3, Lakers with a 1-point lead. Peja Stojakovic, 18 of his 32 points in the third quarter. Overall, 10 of 15 from the field, 6 of 9 from downtown. Night. And yes, at 9:45 here in LA, there is traffic on Sunset Strip. We welcome you back inside to Staples Center as you look at the man who's had the hot hand, Peja Stojakovic.
Let's take a look exactly where his shots have come from on the floor. The green ones being the makes, and he has 10 of those. And the red ones, the misses, there's only 5 of those. 10 for 15 from the floor for 32 points, and they've come from all over. There's no favoritism here in his part. Left side, right side, middle, in the lane for Peja.
Now, I always feel bad for the ball boys. They have to pick up all those green and red little mat things. That's a lot of work.
Not even giving our staff credit for the excellent digital work.
Oh, is that what that is? I had no idea.
Both teams shooting well. Sacramento 27 of 54, 50%. Lakers 33 of 64. They have hit 52%. Fourth quarter is underway. Doug Christie defending on Kobe Bryant. Nice fake. Kobe extending as he tried to go glass.
He might have missed that thing, but that's, you know how hard that is to make a move like that? Incredibly athletic.
Now Vlade Divac being guarded by Horace Grant, and try to find Mike Bibby. Looked like he hurt his right knee as he pulled up.
But Horace saved the potential layup there just by getting his hand up, anticipating the late pass from Vlade.
11 on the shot clock. Here's Bibby wide open. He lost Fisher off a screen, and the Kings lead 82-81.
Now, Derek Fisher, a couple years back, was an outstanding defender, I thought. He has kind of gone backwards as far as defending. He just gave up on that screen, quit running after him. You got to chase those people around those screens, particularly a guy who makes shots like that.
Here's Fisher. Rebounded by Bryant. 28 for Kobe Bryant. Lakers by 1. Evots, oh, he loves that play. Got Christie back door, and the Kings have a 1-point lead.
Well, these two offenses are so similar. They set up in the exact same way with a triangle set up in the corner. Sacramento likes to employ a lot more back picks at that top guy in the top of the circle.
Rebounded by George. Kevin George. And Devin able to extend to get that shot off. Lakers 85, the Kings 84. We're early in the fourth quarter. Time George battling with Christie, not allowing the pass from Divac. Christie with the rebound. George slapped it away. Taken by Christie, and the outside official, Derek Stafford, calling a foul on Sacramento. And Rick Adelman is puzzled by that call. It's on Stojakovic, his second.
Looked like a good call to me, Marv. I thought Stojakovic may have grabbed the arm of Devin George right here. You say he grabbed his wrist a little bit, pushed it back when George was about to catch the ball.
Bryant using the pick and lost the dribble.
Sometimes Kobe trying just a little bit too much to make it happen.
Oh, Peeler trying to slam it, and he's fouled, so Peeler will go to the line. Foul on Rush.
You know, this, without question, this is a playoff type game right now. These guys right now are fired up. They are very determined, okay, to win this game. When you've got guys going that hard trying to throw it down, Peeler, a good example of you don't take it for granted that you're going to make an easy layup. You try to finish it with a dunk, and Rush taking a good foul to save it.
How about Peeler stepping into the time warp? I haven't seen him try to dunk the ball in about 6 years.
Stepping into the time warp.
His teammates on the bench were going crazy.
Anthony, an 82% free throw shooter in his 12th year out of Missouri. 34 years old. Spent the last 5.5 years with Minnesota, signed by Sacramento as a free agent. Also played for the Lakers for 4 seasons. Here is Bryant. Oh, he loves that shot. Try to bank it. Well, he hit a couple off glass early, but it has not been falling. We're tied at 85. Stojakovic. Shot clock down to 5. Stojakovic for 3. Yes!
Come on, that's not fair.
Pager with 35 and 7 of 10 from downtown. Here's Rush for 3. Rebound George, and now Christie gets to him.
George had actually taken off too soon. He was on his way down.
Peeler, nice play. Christie for Peeler, and it's the biggest lead of the night for the Kings. 90-85. They're up by 5 with 8:45 remaining in the fourth.
You see the bounce in the step of the Kings, Mike. These guys have some energy, some confidence. They're having fun out there.
Sacramento's been an excellent road team. They've won 16 and lost 10 away from Arco. Here's the double on Bryant. Grant passed on the shot, and it's a 24-second violation. Harris gave it up, and it cost.
Let's remember now, the Lakers, not making excuses, but they played last night. That energy at the end could be a difference here in favor of Sacramento. And that's in large part because of this guy who has the touch right now going since the beginning of the game. Peja Stojakovic with the deep jump shot, and then the energy coming off the bench by Anthony Peeler, throwing it down right at the end.
And that 10-4 advantage for Sacramento since Shaquille O'Neal sat down, and Shaq is back on the floor. The last 6.5 minutes going back to the third quarter. The Kings have outscored the Lakers 20-8.
And you see Phil Jackson taking Kobe Bryant out of the game, puts in Luke Walton, trying to get a little more ball movement, and with Shaq in there, you better believe they're going to go inside.
Stojakovic wide open for 3.
That thing was halfway down. Even his misses look good.
Kings have connected on 10 of 19 from downtown.
It's kind of an unusual group, I would think, for the Lakers on the floor right now when you're down 5 points. And this could be a force feed situation into Shaq each time down the floor. Put the pressure on Vlade, make him have to guard him, get Shaq the ball, build up fouls, try and get to that bonus.
One of the things I always enjoyed about Phil Jackson in Chicago was he wasn't afraid to put in bench guys at critical situations during the game. And I think it pays off over the course of the NBA season, giving guys more confidence, getting them ready for the playoffs.
You're speaking from personal experience here?
As a matter of fact, I am.
You like to see the bench guys get out.
I love bench guys.
Shaquille O'Neal hits 1 of 2, so the Lakers are going with O'Neal, George, and Walton up front. They have a backcourt of Fisher and Rush. 90-86, Sacramento. Bibby rebounded by Shaq.
Hellman's not thrilled with that shot. He always talks about not taking quick shots, but moving the ball side to side. And that time, Bibby just kind of fired one up early in the shot clock.
Kick ball, they'll place 14 on the shot clock, as Rick Adelman made that point to us in our conversation earlier tonight. Do not take quick shots, he said, against the Lakers. That'll kill us.
And when these guys move the ball side to side and 3 or 4 different players touch it, inevitably, it seems they get a good shot.
Down to 7 on the 24. Fisher from way downtown. Aaron Fisher now 1 for 5.
Well, I just think that Rick Adelman has so much confidence in his team that when they do move for a little bit, use up some time on the clock, they're so good at it that they eventually get a high percentage shot.
Jimmy trying to change the delivery with Luke Walton in front of him. Hear the chant for Luke. Spinning and pops it out. Here's George for 3. Rebound is collected by Bibby. He has Stojakovic ahead of the field.
Derek Fisher is the last man back. You have to protect the backcourt. It was like Derek Fisher didn't even see Pedro running out down the floor.
A power move by O'Neal, and he got the roll.
Not sure how he got that thing to go. I think Fisher was in the corner when George took that shot and just didn't have the angle to get back in time.
I think Fisher was standing at half court. Just didn't see the purple jersey. The steal by the Lakers, and numbers coming down for L.A.
And Rush's pass broken up. Rush able to recover. Fisher for 3. Rebounded by Walton. And Walton goes at Stojakovic and is fouled.
Lakers got very lucky on that play. They got away with a foul on that loose ball. Now they'll end up going to the line.
Shot goes up. Here's where Pedro runs out. There's Fisher not noticing the man behind him. The easy 2 for Sacramento.
Progress is being made in his rehab from a torn ligament in his right knee. This was earlier today. Now remember, he's been out since December 21st. First was diagnosed as a strained knee, which Malone says was a mistake. That was actually a torn ligament, so his rehab had to change. He had to sit quietly for 3 weeks and do nothing at all. 10 days ago, he was allowed to ride a stationary bike in the Stairmaster. Finally, Monday, he was allowed to run straight ahead. Next Monday, will possibly take part in some type of practice with some lateral movements. The Lakers are saying mid-March. But Carl is trying to be optimistic and make his return on Monday, March 7th. By the way, that game in Utah.
Yes, Phil Jackson saying that Karl Malone very intent on making his return in Salt Lake City, and what a scene that would be.
Well, he missed the first meeting in Salt Lake, so I'm sure he's dying to play there once this year.
Divac eluding O'Neal. Lottie putting it on the floor and dribbling right by Shaq.
Luke Walton did an excellent job. They came out of that timeout, set up a play where they cleared everybody up over to the other side. Luke Walton defending on Christie. Christie started to come and backdoored. Walton stayed with him, took away the layup.
Kings lead at 94-90. You see Kobe Bryant, Gary Payton back on the floor. Here is Walt. Rejected. George missed the follow, and O'Neal is fouled. So Shaq will go to the line. The Kings with their 4th team foul.
Walton has the wide open alley to the basket, misses the lefty, and then Devon George right there is fouled intentionally. It looks like that's what he went and complained to the official about, that he was pushed on purpose to take away the obvious layup.
Foul on Divac's 3rd. O'Neal 4 of 7 at the line, and he's shooting 51% on the season. Well, the NBA on TNT returns next Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern time. It's the Kings taking on the Sixers, and the Pistons go up against the Trailblazers. The NBA on TNT is exclusive home for the Western Conference Finals. Lane violation called on Sacramento.
And Mark, the reason that Devon George was so excited about the non-call is because his was a sure 2, the layup. Instead, you send Shaq to the line. He missed the first 2, but makes that one because of the lane violation. So they picked up 1 point, Sacramento, on that exchange right there.
Interesting to see if Sacramento stays with this small lineup for the last 5 minutes. They basically got one center and 4 guards out there, but it's been very effective for them.
Bibby played by George. Shoots from deep. Not a good shot. And here comes Bryant. Kobe cutting left on Christie and then went to the scoop. Eric Stafford calling a foul on the Kings. That'll put Sacramento over the limit. Foul on Christie. That's number 4. And O'Neal back to the line. He is 5 for 9 at the line. Take a look at these stats. Free throw attempts per game, most all time. Wilt Chamberlain at 11.5, followed by Shaq. You see Bob Pettit in there.
10 free throws a game. That's amazing. That was about a month for me in the season. All technical fouls.
You were the specialist. It's a 2-point game. Sacramento 94. Los Angeles 92. Here's Peeler. Rebounded by George. Bothered by Christie.
Great box out by Walton. You can see how well schooled he is in this game. Does so many things out there that please coaches.
Bryant for 3. Peeler had it knocked away by George. Christie right back to it. And Peeler protects the dribble. He's held by George. Only the second team foul on the Lakers. It is a non-shooting affair. It also demonstrates the respect that Phil Jackson has for the rookie Luke Walton, that he's on the floor here in the final minutes.
Well, he mentioned to us there are some games I don't even play him in, yet he has the confidence in him to put him in at the end of last night's game and here again tonight in the crucial minutes.
Divac turns and shoots the air ball.
The Lakers are turning up the defensive pressure here down the stretch. Sacramento suddenly having trouble scoring.
Not Shaquille O'Neal, though, as he had position on Vlade Divac. He's tied the game at 94. The Kings will talk it over.
Shaq running the floor, pins Vlade on his back right in the middle of the lane. You got to get him the ball quickly so there's no 3-second violation.
And the LA Lakers tied it at 94 as we go down the stretch. Coming up next inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson will have post-game reaction from the Kings and Lakers. We'll have a report on that injury suffered by Tim Duncan in the earlier game against the Mavericks, and Jim Huber takes a look at the other rookie sensation, Dwayne Wade of the Miami Heat. 3.5 to go in the fourth. The game is tied. Bibby met on the switch by O'Neal. Shot clock down to 6. And a 3-second violation.
Gary Payton was fighting in so hard down there. Vlade was so intent on getting the ball. They didn't get it back over to that side quick enough. The 3 seconds was called.
Marv, I think the Lakers have a big advantage here in the last 3 minutes because they've got 2 guys who can get to the foul line almost every possession. Sacramento, meanwhile, a jump shooting team, going to have a very difficult time getting free throws. They're going to have to make jump shots to win this game.
Kobe Bryant 1 for his last 9 from the field. Kobe not able to hit. Rebounded by Stojakovic.
Not the best type of shot you want to get in that particular situation.
Just under 3 to go in the fourth. Bibby kicks it out. Here is Peeler for 3. Well, the Lakers back in possession. The game is tied at 94. Payton banking his way on Bibby. Could not find the shot. He does find Bryant. Kobe Bryant from Gary Payton. Kobe thought he was fouled. Lakers up by 2. Peeler rebounded by George. We're down to 2:25 remaining. In the fourth quarter, Lakers 96 and the Kings 94.
Steve, one thing you're not going to call Peeler is reluctant to shoot.
No, he's not. But he's open. If he's open, he's got to shoot.
Here is Payton. Bibby pushing it down. 3-on-2. Peeler spinning. It counts. And the foul. Anthony Peeler will go to the line.
Well, he didn't get the threes from downtown, but he may get the three this way. Go to the foul line and finishing this playoff, taking advantage of the transition opportunities. Bibby keeps pushing it. Peeler makes a nice pullback move and then converts as he gets fouled by George. Now the chance for the three-point play. Finally, something's going down for him.
That's 3 on Devin George. Anthony Peeler, the one-time Laker, at 82% free throw shooter. He's 1 of 2 at the line. 97-96, the Kings in front.
I can't remember the last time Shaq has touched the ball, which is stunning. You consider this is a one-point game. We got to get him the ball.
Well, they tried, and a foul is called. Walton with the lob for O'Neal.
And I think this is why they put Luke Walton back in the game for Devin George, because he's their best post feeder. So you finally get Shaquille O'Neal down on the block. Walton gets him the ball. Now it becomes a free throw battle for Shaq.
Foul on Divac, that's number 4. Sacramento is over the limit. Lakers have 3 team fouls.
And it appears that Phil Jackson is going to go with an offense-defense strategy with Walton and Devin George. You see George back in the game for defensive purposes. If there is a dead ball, you'll see Walton come right back in.
Jack 6 for 12 at the line. He's only 3 of 7 here in the 4th quarter, and he fires one up. Whoa. Wow. O'Neal 6 of 13 at the line, so the Kings maintain the 1-point lead. Divac, and a loose ball foul. It's on Christie. The Lakers will head back to the line.
Critical foul there, because in the penalty, 2 free throws for Kobe. If you avoid him, then you've got to make the Lakers go down and score in the half court. But this is just too easy here.
That's 5 on Christie. And Bryant to the line, where he's hit 7 of 8, all his free throws in the first half. The game is tied at 97. 31 points for Bryant.
I wouldn't mind seeing these two teams play in the playoffs. How about you?
Well, when they add the pieces that are missing, put Karl Malone back on the Lakers, and then you put Webber along with Brad Miller. You're talking about 2 heavyweights going at it.
Incredible.
Lakers lead by 1 with a minute and a half left in the 4th. Bibby for 3. Yes! Mike Bibby has given the Kings a 100-98 lead. He is 4 of 8 from downtown. And Bibby with 28 points.
And there was a hand right in his face on that one.
Coming up on a minute remaining of the 4th. Here's Rush for 3. And it's tipped by Christie to Stojakovic.
And you know that Shaq wasn't even involved in the play. I think now that he's got his free throw difficulties happening, Lakers aren't even going to look for him.
Sacramento in possession. They lead by 2. And the foul is called. Lakers with their 4th team foul, non-shooting foul. It is on Payton. That's his 3rd. Sacramento with 14 on the shot clock. 52 seconds to go in regulation. Payton right up on Bibby. Bibby for 3. Yes!
My goodness.
Mike Bibby, who has emerged as one of the outstanding clutch shooters in the game. That goes back to the postseason 2 years ago. Has been killing the Lakers from downtown.
I'm not sure, Steve, you can afford to go behind the screen when you're talking about guys like Bibby and Stojakovic. They just shoot it too well.
Game, it'll be Inside the NBA presented by Hyundai with Magic and Charles and Kenny, and we'll talk about the San Antonio loss to Dallas. You're going to get kicked out of school. And also, Jim Huber with a report on a Rookie of the Year candidate.
LeBron or Carmelo?
Down in Miami.
Dwayne Wade.
All right, Ernie, and here's a man who knows something about three-point shooting. I would think you have been very impressed by what you've seen here tonight from Sacramento.
Remember, they were 7 for 9 in the first quarter from behind that line, and I kept saying, no, this can't keep up. Well, it has, and it's been an incredible performance by both Stojakovic and Bibby. And how about the overall effort from the Kings without Brad Miller, without Bobby Jackson, no Chris Webber? Look at those numbers, 12 for 23 from the three-point line.
Three-point shooting has accounted for 36 points. It's a 5-point lead. Here's Bryant from downtown. Kobe Bryant brings the Lakers within 35 seconds to go in the fourth quarter.
Just another incredible shot that time by Kobe to now make it a 2-point game, so they need a stop, get that possession, come down then for their last opportunity to Lakers.
The chant of defense here at Staples in L.A. 5 on the shot clock. Down to 3, down to 2. Bibby rebounded by the Lakers. Final seconds. 2-point game. Here's Bryant looking for 3, and he comes up short. And that will do it. Kobe Bryant running for the victory. Came up short on the 3-point attempt. And the Lakers decided to just play it out. They did have a couple of timeouts remaining, but there's always obviously a difference in